Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, and I'm reading Justice League of America Rebirth, issue number 1, from this point on called JLA, because yeah. Guys, what we have here is Batman going around and recruiting everybody. He doesn't do it all himself. He starts off that way and then has the others start recruiting each other. But the point is that he gets them all together. Now, he needs Black Canary because, well, she's kind of like a very down-to-earth person. She's got a lot of experience. She's a very good upfront person, and they really need her morals to keep the group together. And he's able to grab Vixen in a similar way, saying that there is no group without her. She's very resistant to joining, but she was just waiting for him to ask the right way, I guess, but she's basically going to be the glue that holds them together. Lobo was forced by his word in the end of Justice League versus Suicide Squad, and Killer Frost was recruited in a very similar way in the exact same series. Now, the others all had their own books that were put together. I'll try and put that at the end of this video, but the idea is that the group is basically just formed here, and all that happens is that Batman says that what's coming is going to require more than just gods to be worshipped and gods who inspire. So big dig at Superman there, no surprise. But the idea is that seriously, he's not interested in the Wonder Womans and the Green Lanterns and the Supermen. He's more interested in mortal heroes. I guess that they got Lobo there as the big guns, and he's not particularly inspiring just because. But the idea is that he wants to make sure, by he I mean Batman, wants to make sure that everybody has heroes who they can follow and actually try to be like, as opposed to just look at and say, oh, cool, man, they'll save us. No, he wants heroes who will actually inspire people, and therefore he needs regular people, regular mortals, who are at least down to earth in that regard, not idols. So it's very interesting the way he does it, and he keeps on insinuating that something's coming up. Now, if you guys are reading the Batman books, specifically the Detective Comics and Batman series, you'll see that he keeps on indicating that something's going on. In fact, it was just recently indicated in Detective Comics number 950, I just did that review earlier this week, that Tim Drake, one of the Robins, has actually figured that out months ago, that Batman knows that there's a war coming, and he's aligning all the stars in his favor so that he can have eyes on the ground, eyes everywhere, and be able to combat whatever's coming up. So all of this comic by itself doesn't really do a lot for me, but this comic with everything else that's going on in Batman's life, so to speak, in his print history, is really amping me up for the idea that something is coming. Now it's up to this book to live up to those expectations. In that regard, I'm going to give this comic a C+. It's not necessary to own, except the idea that it's in issue number 1, which, let's face it, we all like issue number 1s. But realistically, there's not much more in it than what I've given you. I never always give everything in the comic. In this regard, there wasn't enough to hold anything back. So anyway, guys, so far, liking it, really expecting a lot from this. Professor Bell, Comic Book University, class dismissed.